Hey there, it's Chef Jeff coming to you live from the cybersecurity studio. Today we're going to be talking about insider threat. I'm going to review a number of slides in a slide deck I have on insider threat. We talked about this earlier, so let's dive right into it. Insider. So first thing we're going to cover is incident response plan. So it's plan and prepare. This is before it happens. Detect and report. If something's going on, you need to detect and report it. Assess and decode what happened. Respond. And then what do you do after? That's your incident response. Now we're going to go into an incident response plan. So you need to define who's on your incident response team. Senior management and the various people in the organization that an incident would touch upon. So your IT people, your legal department, your public relations people, and perhaps some forensic and cybersecurity experts as well. Backup and restoration. So you want to know that you have a good backup and you want to be able to know that you need to be able to restore. Clearly articulate your system down policy. In the event of an incident, how long are you going to be down so that your stakeholders and your clients know precisely. Create a communications plan. This is extremely important. In the event of an incident, you need to know who you're going to contact, what you're going to say. And make sure you know your legal obligations. And lastly, for your plan, review your insurance policy. Make sure that it's up to date. A lot of insurance companies are really clamping down on, especially on cybersecurity, cyber threats. So make sure you sit down with your insurance broker, your rep, and go over your insurance policy and make sure you're covered. What is an insider threat? So an insider is someone who is authorized to access an organization's systems data. They're authorized. And an insider threat is the risk that an insider will wittingly, that's knowingly, or unwittingly, unknowingly, exploit a vulnerability to do harm to the organization. Insider threat categories, it could be terrorism, it could be workplace violence. We've seen a number of incidents of that. And it could be cybersecurity. It could simply be an attack or an attempt simply not following protocol and policy. It might be to do with doing your cybersecurity education, really taking a close look at the links in those emails before you click on them, not going to certain websites that you're not supposed to, not allowing other people to use your corporate business devices, especially if you're a work from home person. Your device that's been assigned for you is only for business use. The insider threat plan, establish a program, know which assets are important to the organization to be protected, and recognize a threat and report it. So you need to have an office for insider threat so that someone can go and say, hey, something looks out of the normal. And then follow the plan, assess, and respond. So all of this needs to be laid out in your threat plan. So you need to designate, get a senior manager on board, right? Top down is important. Form the insider threat working group. Develop governance and policies. What, how, when. It's really important to have structure to this, procedures, and then implement it. So you need to train people so that they know what to do and they need to be aware of what's going on. And then create an insider threat program office. That's when something doesn't look right. Somebody can go in and say, hey, I see something that could be a threat to the organization. Protect your critical assets. Identify and document the assets in the organizations, whether it's servers, whether it's folders, wherever you have your information, you need to know what's there and it needs to be clearly documented. Priority critical assets, prioritize, right? So know we need to have these systems, this information is highly confidential, it's highly restricted, it needs to be super protected. So that's what we want to have here. Protect your critical assets. So when it comes to insider threats, you want to assess suspicious behavior and respond appropriately. So you need those, implement those systems to collect and correlate data and to look for patterns that are outside of the normal. People logging in outside of business hours, people accessing the office outside of business hours, under their normal work hours. So we need to um, establish what they are, and then we can develop detection and indicators based on that information that we're collecting and monitoring. And then form a threat management team to analyze the behavior so that you can basically say what's in and out of scope and what could be suspicious and a potential threat. Establish procedures for recommending appropriate response. This is extremely important. So recognize and report anomalous behaviors, right? So people do things outside of the normal standard business activities, it's a potential threat. Beware of high risk behavior that can indicate a threat potential. And establish clear guidelines for reporting. So, what's coming up in the next month is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And tune in starting tomorrow, where we will be going through a number of tips and raising awareness. And I'll be covering some webinars in detail on cybersecurity. So, this is Chef Jeff. My name is Jeff Brodie, and I'm the founding partner of Codefusion Communications, located here in the Greater Toronto Area, serving companies across the Greater Toronto Area, across the country, and around the globe, helping companies stay safe and secure and productive. If you found this information helpful, go ahead and click the share button. Thanks for joining us, and I look forward to talking to you during Cybersecurity Month. You have yourselves a great day. Thank you, and bye for now.